Comedy Film Nerds Podcast.
We're talking about ways to consume movies. So let's talk about, Chris, you saw War
Yes.
Machine. So this is a very unique thing because this is
I saw War Machine, yeah, and
feature-
it's a giant feature film.
that is Brad Pitt, $60 million budget. It's based on the General McChrystal getting fired, but they
It's on Netflix, right?
released it exclusively on Netflix. So what?
You know what? It's not a good movie,
Okay.
which is a shame because I had some higher expectations with this. I really feel like Netflix is doing something very different with their films than they are with their TV series because the TV series seems like there's a fair amount of quality control going on. There's a lot of very good TV series streaming there. The movies from, Adam Sandler to now Brad Pitt feel like these are like little passion projects that they just give these stars a bunch of money and just say, come back with a movie. And this one missed the mark completely. And here's the thing about a satire. You have to have jokes in it. If you're going to actually have a satirical film, it has to be funny. Gentlemen, there's no fighting in here. This is the war room.
Well, I'm not
You know,
surprised that Brad Pitt is in a movie like that because he made a zombie movie that he didn't want to show any zombie kills in.
Right.
Like,
Oh, I didn't know that. So for World War Z, you didn't want to show zombie
no,
kills?
he didn't want to show kills. He
Really?
wanted to, yeah, you didn't. I was like, go make something else, man. Don't ruin this genre with your bullshit.
Right.
Like, yeah, I want a movie that my kids can come see. Then don't make a zombie.
Then don't make him a
movie.
zombie movie.
Yeah, that's like saying like I want to open a strip club my kids can come to.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
A family-friendly strip club.
Yeah.
yeah, just don't make a strip
Why
club.
hasn't anyone
Don't
done that
open
before?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like when you're saying this, I feel like
Yeah.
that's because Brad Pitt's a part of it.
Well, and it's it's Plan B Productions, which is his production company. I can guarantee this was his fingerprints on it from start to finish, and also it was very poorly directed, which is surprising because you have a director, David Michôd, who did Animal Kingdom and The Rover. But here's the thing:
probably
they were
wasn't
both
allowed to
really bleak, dark, dystopian movies.
Right.
And then you're going to throw him into a satire. It doesn't work. He was the wrong director for the
but
job.
see, you know what? You don't know what was going on the inside. This guy, if Brad Pitt's the executive producer, it's his company. How maybe he wasn't allowed to direct.
It
Well,
could be.
that's
Could be,
I
yeah.
agree. I think that's what happened when you have Brad Pitt saying, "I want a strip club for my kids."
Right.
And then you have this guy so let's look at Animal Kingdom and The Rover real quick. No big budget stars,
No.
low budget stuff, shot in Australia. It's Animal Kingdom before Joel Edgerton broke out.
Right.
And
they were very dark and bleak.
right, and it was his movie. So when
Yes.
you're directing a low budget or indie film in Australia, using Australia's film money.
Right.
And you don't have
And landscape.
and you don't have giant actors. It's exactly what Erik you just said. I bet you, because Animal Kingdom didn't have a megastar going. No. You frame me this way.
Yeah.
And I bet you
Not
that's
to say we don't know, but it just feels like
It felt like that something was very off
Yeah.
through the entire film.
Boom, there
And
it is.
one of the things too was Brad Pitt's character. Like they couldn't get a bead on what or who he was supposed to be. Like he's being set up as this basically genius general with, all these credits and, top of his class and went to the best schools and had all these successes. And then he's portrayed as this ignorant buffoon who doesn't understand what's going on in Afghanistan. And then he's portrayed again as trying to get a hold of the situation that no one else understands. Like, well, you have to pick one thing. You can't have it all these different ways because what happens is then you have a character that's an absolute mess and we don't know, should we root for him? What kind of, like, you can't admit one character trait in one scene and then be a different character in another scene. And it went all over the map throughout this entire
that has
movie.
a lot to do with like. I hate. It sucks that the director gets blamed for all that because that to me sounds like editing choices, and also the actor themselves not being consistent.
It also sounds like an uneven script.
Yeah, it was
You know
a
what I mean?
very
Like-
uneven
There's a
script.
lot of
Yeah.
stuff. But here's the thing about what I love about Netflix, by the way, is and they are trying to they put movies out in theaters because they're trying to win Oscars.
Right.
Qualifying runs.
Qualifying, right. Which is you have to be in L.A. and New York.
They did that with Beast of No Nation.
Right, you have to play,
Yes.
and you have to play
Which
in
should
a
have
theater
won.
that you have to play in a theater that is showing other movies, It's a whole designation they have. They're
Yes.
trying to do that, and I love it. But the thing I like about Netflix though is like when you watch like that first Adam Sandler movie with what's his face not Dana Carvey
Was this The Cobbler or was this a different one?
no the one that he made before he comes to the comedy store all the time. Spade. I enjoyed that movie. The one with Spade, I enjoyed it. But check it out. I didn't have to get in my car, drive to a theater, get popcorn, have these expectations, deal with public, and have it on the. No. This was a great little, right on the screen. I'm watching it whenever I want, and for that, it served its purpose. Because the other one,
It's like you were on the road.
yes, but I was at home, so I feel like I think he's found his nook, because when you have like look at this budget for like that one we saw for Pirates. Imagine if Netflix spent $230 million on a movie, and then it just you were like, there's too much that goes into it.
Right.
With Netflix, they just keep it nice and.
Well, $60 million is still a decent budget.
Yeah,
for sure.
but for a company that makes $500 million a month, like these actors that are getting all this money for Netflix, and they gave Will Smith like $100 million. I mean, that's a lot of money, right? Not to them.
No, it's not. And I'll say this. I mean, having not seen War Machine, and I'm bummed that it didn't work.
I got to watch it because, by the way, RJ, who's in I'm Dying Up Here, is in it, right?
Yeah.
The black kid.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Aaron?
Yeah, he is. He is. It's RJ Seiler. He's in Power Rangers. And
here-
he's in that. He's also
I
on
will
Dying Up
say-
Here. So I want to watch it.
I will say one
RJ
positive.
Seiler is
I
there.
will say one positive thing about this movie. It has moments where you're like, oh, these moments belong in a better movie. Like there's moments of like clarity and satire of like, well, why are we growing heroin? Because there's rules that why can't we grow cotton here? Because there's rules where they can't grow a crop that will compete with America. So we're growing heroin. So there's things to be explored satirically that never get there in this movie.
Well, the thing I like is just Netflix platform or what they're doing. Like I applaud them for saying, let's do an A-list celebrity movie with an exclusive release.
Well,
I'll give them credit for that.
Let me take the credit away. let me tell you something. If you're charging people $9 a month, you have to justify that with content.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not doing anything. Like they're not like, oh, it's not groundbreaking. It's the studios and everybody's. Like, first of all, they put Blockbuster out of business.
Right.
Okay, and then the studios started to go, we don't need you either.
Right.
Like, see, why should I put my app? Why should I put my movies on your thing? Because I'm gonna okay, you can have it for 6 months. Now I'm gonna put it someplace else. Now, if you're at home, imagine if they didn't have original content.
Right.
How shitty would Netflix be?
Well, they ran into
Well,
that
that's-
problem.
yeah,
No,
but-
no. I know this isn't some benevolent thing. I'm not saying.
okay,
what I'm saying is they're adapting. Well, they've been trend setting.
Yeah.
They
For real.
and some of it was out of necessity. So they had like what was it 6-7 years ago? They had all these deals with stars, and they were just acquiring pre-existing
Right.
content, and then they
But
lost
were
those.
but they were probably sitting in like a bathtub of gold.
Right.
The executives, just making hand over fist money. The amount of money. What do they have? 40 million subscribers at just $10 a month.
Well, at first, if you remember, too, the original content
Jesus.
was like, oh, we're going to pick up shows that other networks have canceled. That was the first round. And then realized, hey, why are we doing that? Why don't we just make our own content that's better? And then that's pretty much what they've been doing ever since.
Yeah.
Because they just need new, because they don't need ratings, they don't need box office.
They need to
subscribers.
They need to maintain too. Check
Yeah.
that out too.
HBO, it's
they
the
want
HBO model.
They want new subscribers, but they want to maintain their subscribers
Right.
too. And it's like, but HBO has been doing it for so long. I don't even realize it. It's the same thing. What's changed in society is not this format we're talking about. It's just how the consumer is getting the product.
Yes.
But also HBO though has always had one foot in old. They still are relying on ratings. They still need Nielsen ratings.
Because it's on but now that because this is what
HBO
Showtime
Go.
is doing too.
Right.
Showtime Anytime, which you should go download so you can watch my show I'm Dying Up Here and my comedy special on July 7th, The Ugly Truth. Anyway, shameless
We'll
plug.
get into that for sure.
But I'm saying is that what they're trying to do now is Showtime's trying to do the same thing.
Everyone is.
They're going to
CBS
say,
is doing
get
it.
our app, get our app.
Right.
Get our app and watch
Watch
it on your
on
smart
demand.
TV. Watch
Yeah,
it on
yeah.
demand. Watch when you want. Because first of all, I have cable and I still don't know why I have it, but I have it because I like watching sports. And I think I'm also old, so I also feel like it's like having a phone number.
Do you have kids?
No.
Okay, that's one of the
That would be
reasons
one of the
too.
reasons why you have.
we,
I get it.
we keep it for the.
But like what
yeah.
I notice is like I DVR shows still because I'm a junkie for TV. You know, and I have my guilty pleasures. Like I love the originals and Vampire Diaries, and I never miss Scandal. You know, I got to see what Olivia's doing. You know, but what I found what I found is this: I don't DVR it anymore. I watch it on Hulu. If it's on Hulu, then I'm like perfect. Now I take it off my DVR because there's no commercials on Hulu. For just for like $1 or $2 more, and that's so convenient. So now I'm finding that I'm even watching those type of shows, and even Hulu's starting to get movies now too.
Right.
You know, and they hooked up with Showtime.
And
you
even
know.
CW has an app where if you want to watch
No,
it.
check it out. They all have an app. Every single station has an app. FX has an app. FXX has its own app if you wanted to get that. You know, everything has an app, and so now it's just a matter of like, where do I want to watch these things? And like, first of all, I have 2 smart TVs at my place. All right, I have an Xbox, so I look at stuff. I look at stuff on the Xbox. I look at stuff on my smart TV. I look at stuff like maybe on your phone, and you send it to your TV.
Now, wait, I'm curious because we have PlayStation. That's where I get the apps through. Like, which ones do you watch on Xbox? The apps that you don't do on your smart TV.
Check this out. My Xbox One, I have it hooked up to my cable box, so I'm watching everything. My Xbox is always on. So and so like, and then they have a great accompanying app with it. So like, let's say I'm searching for something. Let's say I want to watch The Godfather. I might put in my app. I go Godfather, and it'll find where I can watch it. So it'll say like, oh, you can buy it here, or you can watch it here, or you can, you know, it's coming on TNT. It's coming, you know, like you can find out. Yeah. So I like the Xbox, but they're both the same. They're the same. They're comparable. Okay. It's just I just prefer. I love having that feature. So like you can go Xbox on, you know, and it'll turn on, and I can say Xbox watch TNT, and it'll turn the channel to TNT, or I might be like open Hulu, and then a Hulu whatever I want. So I realize that
eliminate humans.
I know. So I realize that I'm integrating my whole the technology is integrated completely with like what kind of TV. I have a 4K TV and you know all that, and that's how you want to watch shows. That's why, by the way, the internet is never going to take over for television. Like you making your little show in your garage. Like you've never been on a real set to see all that happens with the lighting and the sound, and we're never going to get rid of that, and we're never going to lose the movie experience. We still want to go to the theater.
Yes.
Like that's why they figured this out. So that's why a lot of movies come out now. It comes out on iTunes and in the theaters because people are not going to not go watch the movie. We love that experience. So in the same way with the TV shows, I want to watch it on my TV. So now I don't even know when shows come on. I don't know what the time of them are. You can binge watch whatever you want.
Right.
You put in like you know, you have the different apps. I have so many apps on my damn Xbox that I watch. But then now it's about which ones has the least amount of commercials. Which ones? You know, that's what you have to find out now because these apps for these places
they're going to start competing with each other.
They're the worst though.
Yeah.
Like you like this the AMC app or the FX. It's like. You're watching more commercials
than regular television,
You know?
So